What do you say we do some more fixing on the meter maid? So we got 2 tires on there that we can kind of run for now on the back temporarily. Their rims are drilled out so that they would fit, but they're holding there and can function. But the front one goes flat real quick, so I think we're going to get into the front tire, getting a new tire on that, and then seeing if we can start fixing some of the other mechanical and electrical issues it's got going. Well, that looks like it's going to be a little fun to get off of there, huh? So let's get the regular 4-bolt pattern, but then you got to get it off the hub yet and get the axle out of the way. I do see there's like a gap underneath there. I think you can see it better on the other side. Yeah, there you go. You can see where it's able to drop out of there, but I don't want the whole brake drum and everything going with it. I don't think I would want to break, you know, the hydraulic part of it, or should you have to. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to happen. I'm probably going to take it, maybe we'll undo the lugs, get the wheel free, and then see, once we loosen these guys up, if we can just kind of let it hang down and slide the rim out. And maybe get that assembly and kind of do something like that, sit it on a milk crate or something to the side. I don't know until we get there, right? I wish I could just unbolt this side and let it slide up and out, but I don't think there's going to be enough room. Matter of fact, I know there's not going to be enough room. And this, you know, horseshoe is kind of fixed. It's all in one piece. It's not like you can take this arm out of the way and get it free. So I'm going to go work on that and get some stuff unbolted, and we'll see how that works out. So pretty much unbolted everything. And let's drop down on the stool. I think we can get it out of there. Watch it, don't take out that flex brake line there. Watch your toes. You guys are watching close. There we go. I think we're safe for a little while. Look at a weird setup, huh? Let's see if we can get you out of there. So that's your swing axle. This pivot's on that, and then the springs run suspension, and then there's a shock that limits it. Shock goes from the bolt to there, and that limits the up travel and dampens it. That seems like it's kind of sloppy, huh? Like that should have some bushings in it or something. It's the top. No, that's just the way it is. It's kind of floating there. It's missing a clip to retain it for the brake line. Alright, let's see about getting us some sort of tire on there. So I got it in the little Harbor Freight small wheel bead breaker setup, and got the bead popped off on both sides. I figure we'll leave it in there, try to use that possibly to help with aiding of getting it up off the bead with my newly acquired tire wrenches that one of you guys sent. Let's see how this works out. I want to punch it. I think I want to take and spray some soapy water around that. Maybe it'll help our situation out. Alright, let's see if we can get that guy up and over the hill. Let's go start with maybe the little one. Not going to be big enough to do what we need to do. Let's try my old screwdriver set up. There's that one. It's one of those things that you just fight with. Punch yourself in the face. Use that to hold that. How's that? Nice. Rotten, dry old tire. Well, it's not too bad on the inside. Got some cleaning up on the wire wheel. You can tell where it sat on the ground. Be right there. But it's nothing jumping out that's saying, watch out! It's a piece of junk. So I'm going to go over to the wire wheel, clean that up, get that lip kind of cleaned up, and see what we can do about getting a new tire on it.
I think we make some dust.
I got that rim kind of cleaned up, but I want to look into that tube. I have a feeling it has a hole in it somewhere because it was flat. Okay, maybe I put the valve stem back in it. And we'll spray her down. I hear something. I think it's right at the valve stem. If that's the case, yeah, it's beat. That's right there. Alright, let's see what I got in my stash. If not, I go run to Tractor Supply and go get it. Alright, so I went to Tractor Supply, and of course, you know, how the stuff was written before and how it's written now doesn't match up. Like on that one, it's pretty simple. It's between 5 inches and 5.7 inches by 8, the rim diameter, and then they go to this size, which is 16 by 6.5 by 8. This is the only one that had an 8 on the end of it for an 8-inch rim. So I figured I try to give it a shot. I opened it up in the store and kind of laid it next to this one. But it looked like the center hole was smaller. But it's hard to say because it's not filled up with any kind of air. So I figure we'll go give it a shot, put some air in it, and hopefully it's the right one. Actually looks pretty good. That's not too bad. Kind of like the old style car tire sizes, and then the new metric ones. Probably has to do with that. Is that valve stem going to be correct? Yeah, looks like it. I took the rim and I painted the rim black. It's over on the heater, kind of drying. We're going to let that do its thing for a little bit, and then we'll try reassembling that. But I figured the paint. Somebody suggested that once before too. Put paint on it, and it keeps the the little rusty bits from digging into the tubes and chewing it up. Yeah, that was easy. Hopefully the tube is okay. Pop. There we go. I'm gonna let the air back out and fill it up one more time so that the tube can kind of go where it wants to. Probably could have just put a valve stem in there and ran with no tube. It's a tubeless tire. Now, I don't know if somebody put a tube in the old one just because it was not holding air correctly anymore. I don't know. Where's my valve tool? It's going to take forever. So I busted a shock bolt off. I got to go take care of that. I don't think it's any big deal. I don't think it didn't break. It's a through bolt. It's not like it's Alright, I'll let her all kind of go where it wants to go. And we'll fill it back up. And then hopefully we don't have to worry about tires going flat on this thing anymore. We could jump on to might jump onto the key setup. Uh-oh. It's not me, right? Oh, no, what it was? It was pushing the air. It was pushing the air out of the tire. It's here. Go check the pressure on that. We'll start getting that thing back on there. It's a little dark up there. I'm gonna try a little light test. This one, the smaller one, has paper towel over the lens, and then we have the larger one. The larger one has two modes I wasn't aware of. It does have a high and a low. High, too bright, makes everything white. How did I do it? And the way to go for it to go to dim. Sure there is. Is that it? That's it. I think so. So, let's try. I think it's still too bright. Watch this one not work at all. That's better. Alright, so it's all kind of loose right now. The wheels, the lugs aren't tight on the rim, but you can kind of see the movement of it. The shock goes from here to a bolt up there, and that just kind of dampens the whole assembly. But it's pretty tough looking. That right there, that is the stop. It's got a little, what's left of a rubber pad on it. So if you go and four-wheel it too hard, that's the positive stop that it hits. Surprised it's only on one side though. You would think that it might be on both. But it's got the arm for keeping the brakes from spinning, and that has to pivot. I gotta put a cotter key back in that. I guess if you want to adjust the height of the front suspension, you could just kind of work with the length of those springs. They don't seem to have bushings in them. I don't know, possibly maybe those bolts might be wearing through a little bit. Talking about back in there. Well, that's just how it's supposed to be. I don't know. I'm not going to get too concerned about that. So anyway, I just want to show how the assembly works. How that front suspension kind of goes. And then the rotation of it. Looks like it'll turn on a dime, because that kind of sure turns that wheel pretty far. Alright. So I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to see if I can find a clip for that brake line. Wish I would remember that. I would have grabbed something when I was out, but I got a drawer for like brake hardware. See if there's one in there, and we'll come up with something for that. You're ready to grab a shock bolt. Maybe I'll show the shock itself. So it's a lot of drag that direction, but find that direction. And I'm not sure which way this was used. Was it countering the front end, or was it going along with the front? It's going along with the front fork. So when the front tire gets pushed in, it's got a little resistance, and then its rebound is got a lot more drag on it. So I guess if it bottoms out a little too easy, we can go for something that's dampened a little differently. If not, might be just fine. Well, it's all back together, but one thing. Oh, that looks good. Brakes need to be beat on a little more. Knock the rust off of them. The front brake drum, well, that guy, that bothers me. And if you're gonna be riding, every time you go to hit the brakes, the drum's gonna want to click, forward and back. That and just going over bumps, I'm sure it's probably rattling. So I don't know if that just got egged out inside there. I seem to remember it being just perfectly round. Actually, you could probably do it because it's only hand tight. Because that joint needs to be able to pivot as the suspension moves, so you can't tighten it up, you know what I mean? I wonder if maybe we can make a bushing for in there. Like a brass bushing or a steel bushing. Yeah, that looks like it's just missing something, like it would have had one in there, doesn't it? That's too perfectly round for that to be like that. So somewhere, something went bye-bye Is the bolt wore at all? No. Surprised that didn't get to, that's welded onto that, you know. So I don't know if it would have had like a washer with a shoulder on it. I wonder if we can maybe create that. I'm gonna look into my stash, see what we got, and try to come up with something to take up that play. So I went to go grab a bolt, the nut that was on there, and use it for a gauge for what size to kind of make the idea of it. And I started moving stuff around on the floor, move the little stool out of the way. Look what I found. Well, there's your problem. You screwed up and you took it apart. But I can tell you, glad I found it now. Instead of making it and then moving it and seeing it. Alright, let's get that buttoned up and the front wheel's done. That's better. A little bit of play. You can stop writing. I put grease on it. Some of you guys are already writing, so oh, you put together dry. I got it. Critter eviction day. New landlord in town. Looks like probably maybe a chippy. Take it outside later, I'll blow it out. Just want to be able to access a wiring for the back here for that light. It's supposed to be a light right there and there. Alright, brake clips in, and had to put it upside down. It's the wrong thickness for this setup, but I couldn't get it back out again. I was trying to take it out, flip it over, and kind of tap them a little bit to make up for the thickness, but it fit fine. Alright, so what do you say we go and hop onto something a little bit more clean to work on? That mess right there. So that's the ignition switch that was in it. It had no key. I punched out the guts of it so I can try and turn the center of it, which I was able to do, and but this was not working. So the switch is already having an issue, or the wiring was already having an issue someplace else that I wasn't aware of. And no harm, no foul. I have a new one with a key, and we're gonna go try figuring out what wires go where and put it back together and see if we can get that guy working so that we can fire it up by the key. I think we could actually start by giving ourselves a little bit of elbow room. What do you think? This is just sitting in there. That ought to make a little more room, huh? It's a little harder to drive. Needs access a little better to the engine, huh? There we go. Of course, you get it from the wrong side. It's OMC 18 horse opposed twin. Little headers on it. They look like they're okay. Let's go over the other side, check out the other side. And the special feature doors, double jointed there. As this setup, here's the fan. This would be for the heat. So it would take cool air in from the, probably from the cab also. Not sure. Or outside. I'm not sure which way it went. Yeah, this one went here. So we take the already, you know, you're trying to warm the air up. We draw the air in from the cab through the fan, blow it through the muffler, and the muffler kind of, the heat exchanger I should say, kind of goes around the exhaust and picks up heat from that. In other words, you know, they're isolated from each other. The air in the cab, of course, the air from the exhaust is separated, and it's kind of blowing over the top of the pipes, and then it pumps it back out through here. That looks like it's fairly intact. I was thinking that was the muffler at first. I think the end, was the end of it blown out? No. Good. Oh, it's dark, you can't see. This is the muffler part of it that's gone. But we're not that concerned about that. Let me catch up to speed what's going on. Alright, so got a jumper pack hooked up. Ground's going to the block somewhere. And then this lead right here, this black one, is going to the starter solenoid over there, and that's hooked up to the terminal. So I kind of want to see what is happening just when you put power to the system, and you know what turns on and what doesn't. So as soon as I go and turn the key on, the battery pack on, in other words, you know, hook power to it, the electric fuel pumps are on, and I had to go plug it off. You can see it was puking out. You're gonna trying to go, which is good, but the only problem with that is there's nothing hooked up. There's not a single wire touching. And that may have been what I was trying to take apart the first time on this. So you know, it was acting like it was turned on all the time. The key was on all the time. Well, it's obviously not this, because all these wires are separated, and two of them would have to be powered together for it to, you know, fire the solenoid, I believe. I would not think it would be any other options, but I do see some you know, stuff cut and hacked into. It's been cut away, and I got this one off. This was the wire that went, I believe it actually goes to the coil, and you know, that would get turned on and off from the key switch to power to that. So I'm not quite sure what is happening yet. I've got to try to figure it out. Maybe, hopefully, look for some kind of like pinch wiring harness or something. You could see the someone's done something with that wire there. Kind of jump. You know what they did? They jumped past the link in the plug. That's what they did. There's nothing on it. It's bare. So I'm going to go try to find why this thing wants to energize automatically right when I go to do it. You know what it might be? It might be the relay is stuck internally on. How can we check for that? That might be it. Yes, that's something that would make sense to me. Is actually no, because you hear the relay fire though. Man, it doesn't make any sense. So that guy's got power all the time when I relay's got power all the time when I go to put power to the system, and pretty much everything lights up. I don't know what's lighting up. Get out there. And then one down below. So I think what I should probably do is pull these guys off, the little leads, try to figure out what is causing that to get latched. The relay's pulling in and out, you can hear it. So I think I got to backtrack from there. We're going to take this one off because it's easier to get to, see if it goes away. I would think it would. I would think, you know, there's a you would think one side would be ground and one side would be power, and you pull one of the two off, it should go to dead, but let's see. You guys figure it out yet? Power's on right now. I did. I took the wires off like I said I was. Just want to check something real quick. Make sure it does what I think. Yep. Okay. So I took those little posts off, and first I disconnected this side, see if it would go away. Didn't. As you turn the key on, the relay would fire. Then I went to the bottom. The bottom's got 3 wires on it. 1, 2, 3. That's hard to see. Any better? There you go. These 3 right here, I took off of that stud right there, and I would think those are probably like maybe the outputs. Probably one goes to the fuel pump, one goes to this, one goes to that. I would think this would be the signal probably coming from the key to latch it. Anyway, what the deal was is one of these wires was touching the main post. So they were kind of all put on there and bolted down. This one, that one, was touching that guy. There's your problem. Didn't see that coming, huh? So, possibly what I think happened was the main power lead got pulled a little bit and kind of swung this direction and just kind of ran into those. So that's what's causing that to be an issue. So that's good. We don't have to at least buy any parts for that. I'm going to go screw all that stuff back together, kind of clean up the ends of that, and then maybe jump back to the switch. At least we know why the thing was doing what it was doing. We don't mind if I'm going to look over your shoulder, but this is the new switch. I don't have a wiring diagram. I'm probably sure I can go in the house and go look one up, but I took what they said and transferred them to the outside so I can read them a little bit better. So that post is ignition. That one's accessory. That goes to the battery. And the center is ST. I don't know if that's starter. I would think ignition and start. Well, no, because ignition is power to the coil, and that may be crank. So we'll see. That's how I'm going to go chase it out. I know I'm going to go right now for the one that's got power. There you go. That one will be battery. So all the other ones I think are dead right now. Yeah. So that's what I'm going with. That. This one is the main power going in. That's going to go to the battery. Then I'm going to trace them back. Which wire goes to the starter solenoid to make that click will be the starter. Ignition is going to be whatever wire is the same wire that hooks to the coil for power. I'll know ignition, and then I guess the other ones are going to. I'll just double check, but they're probably all going to be accessory. And I would think this thing would have a few things in it due to the fact that. The lights and things it would have had on it. So I'm gonna start hooking them up, and if we make smoke, I'll bring you back. I'll bring you back either way. Hardware shopping. I have one nut in the back of that guy. And I'm gonna go. How about these? Come on, fingers. Brass nuts. Yeah, brass nuts, right? Ha. Alright, put this. Grab. It's good about thinking about working on a cushman. All the hardware I have in here is all standard, not metric. Now, same thing on that. And we'll grab one extra because you know we're going to drop one. Well, I got of course, battery going to battery, the one we talked about, and this is the one that was still connected on the switch. The last one was left on. And that was actually accessory, so whatever that fat lead is going to is going off to accessory on the old switch. So I kept that the same. So I got to figure out which one is going to be the ignition one. I would think it's going to be. I don't know. I'm going to guess it's going to be that white one. Actually, is there two white ones? No, green. I can say that white one, and we got an ohm meter here. I am going to connect that, and the wire is off on the coil, and that end of it is white too. So I'm gonna just go pop a meter on it and buzz it out and see what we get. Yeah. So you guys can see that as soon as I connect to it, circuit's open, and then back to 0. So that's going to go on the ignition wire. All I did is put those 3 on. I haven't done these other ones that are hanging out. And I would think those 2 with the really funky bent. Yeah, I shouldn't take that assumption. I was going to say we're going to be for the middle, but who knows. But if you stay still, turn the key on now, you get some dash lights kind of coming on, and the headlight's on right now, and then you turn it off. So that big lead leading out on accessory must be for powering the headlights, taillights, all that kind of stuff. So, and then I would think I should have power. Should probably check that now, can't we? On ignition, yeah. So let's go. This light. I should have 12 volts to that. I do not. Is key on all the way? That should be it right there. And it's not. So I gotta go figure out on the switch. All these are hot, so it's not like I'm concerned about it. It's got power there. I ohmed that wire out. So why does it not have power on that end? It buzzed out earlier. There it goes. Nope. No. What am I missing? How come I ohmed it out? It was okay. That was a constant wire. I got power there. I got power there. Should I stab it right here? Say, is it getting it through? Yeah, I'm gonna stab it right into my finger. Let's try it right there. Yeah, it's got power going through it, so I think I just saw a mouse run by. Yeah, we got incoming. So I had it wrong. It was the green wire. So now when you go to turn the key on, the test light does nothing. I don't even get it all in the shot. The test light's over there. That's the wire going to the coil, which needs to have 12 volts go to it. And now comes on when you turn the key on, and over here. So that was the green wire, the white one. I'm not quite sure what was happening there. Then I was kind of poking around which one. This is power all the time. This is the power coming into the battery. So I keep using that for my test. So I put this one to it. And that's the one that fires the relay. So that one should go on the top. And then when you turn the key, that'll crank the starter. So I'm going to go with those. I still have these. That one I think was tucked up out of the way and disconnected. I have a feeling something broke on this at one time because the wire that is allowing that to do that, if you look, somebody ran that wire through there. That's not a factory setup. So we are chasing, you know, maybe some past gremlins on this. But again, we can get it so we can run start from the key switch, and we'll worry about what these guys are, if they're for gauges or dash lights or something like that. We'll chase them down. I think I should get it right there as far as being able to run from the key. So get it around you guys. Hold on. Get the whole deal in. So I turn the key on, the test light should come on, which it does. The headlight's on too. So that's power to the coil. And then when I go to the next step, should crank the starter, and the lead is set back up there. My wire's touching right there. Really, it should start. Or at least crank, and then we know it'll run if I pull the choke. And it shuts off with the key. Good. Getting there. I don't know if this is a past wiring gremlin or not. I see this wire is off. I have a feeling that probably went to the back of the alternator, and maybe that had an issue and they disconnected it. And again, there's another homemade looking wire here. I have a feeling we're going to find maybe a bunch of that. Not sure. This thing may have had, you know, reason why I was taken out of service, it may have had some electrical gremlins. We're already past that part of it. I would like to see possibly, I should probably put a meter on that and see if it actually charges, or do I need one of the other wires hooked up that are up there, may have something to do with the charging system. I don't know. And we got a resting voltage on the battery of 12.7. Let's give her a crank and hopefully that comes up. Good. The charging system's working. We can live with that, huh? Are you afraid of spiders? Guess he's living in the alternator. He wasn't all that happy. Well, it's got the headlight. And both taillights. I think we're supposed to have a plate light on it somewhere, huh? I still don't have those other wires hooked up to it yet, so I don't know if the headlight stays on all the time. Anytime the key's on, seems like the headlight's on. What's this one? What's that do? I don't hear anything. I bet you one of those or a couple of those are for the fan motor for the heat that I'm thinking about. But I found another switch. It sounds a little grovelly. Maybe the end of it's stripped out though. The whole thing spins, but the that and that aren't tied together. We'll pop that screw out of there, see if we can get a wiper. Smooth. Might need a blade, but at least that part of it works. And I found out what another one of the wires do by poking and just putting power to it. Turn on. It's my directional. I don't know if anything's flashing. The relay's firing, that's good enough. You can fix all the lights. There we go. It's the wrong side though, isn't it? Isn't it down? Yeah, it's down. Let's see what the other side gives us. Gives you both of them. Alright. Might have to work on that a little bit, I think. At least power goes to it. Now it's not shutting off. It's one of those hazard. Ha, there you go. Flasher. So let's see if that'll go now on its own. And it's trying with this no resistance from any of the bulbs, so that's what it was. Yeah. Alright. That's that. The flashes go on. And it's firing both. So right now actually both should be on that side, right? It was doing what it was supposed to. Yeah, still screwed up. Flashes should be all four. Background, you can kind of see it jumping around. A lot of crap that's in them too. Yeah, I think at this point of the game, I am going to go wrap it up. It's getting later in the evening, and I would like to go dine on some fine food. Well, not so fine food. What do you consider? What do you consider pizza? So I got on a tangent and started chasing some electrical gremlins. Just wanted to see what did and didn't work, and it looks good. It looks like everything's going to kind of be able to chase that once you get all the new lights put on it and whatnot. He had another one of these. Where did it go? There's the bag. And he dropped me off the two lights from it before, and that's those guys from his that he had as a spare one, because those two are hammered, and the back ones look like we should be able to get those to function, and the headlights already working. So we're well on our way. We two up there also. Not quite sure what they do. I don't know if you put the flashers on, do they probably flash? That's my guess. That's it, we're good. We can go fire it up with the key. We got brakes. We got throttle. Charging system. There's the mouse. Look at him. Get out of my garage, you little bastard. Where'd you go? Gotta be pissed. Like, dude, you're shaking my house. Well, I don't want you in here all night. You suck. I might have to start it up and drive it out. No, I'm not going to do that. Oh well. I'll have to set up the trap inside the garage. Anyway, on that, guys, I'm going to go wrap it up. I don't want to get into the gas tank. The smell is horrendous of the stuff that was coming out of there. Fortunately, the color does not look too bad, so it doesn't look like there's a lot of contaminants, but I just don't feel like getting all stunk out by that stuff tonight and dealing with it. So maybe tomorrow I'll purge all that out. We might be able to just put fresh fuel in that tank and kind of run it through. If it looks clean, we'll just hook it right up to the carb, and the gas tank will be at least good enough for now. Again, the whole idea is just getting this to yard drive, but I have a feeling we might even get past that a little bit and be to the point where we can you know, put it down the road. It is registered, it's on the road. Next is also, we got to figure out what to do for a battery. I think it was under that location somewhere over there, judging by the length of the leads. But I probably had a battery box that rotted out. I think that's, I seem to remember him saying something about that. So we got to make some kind of setup for that. But that's for a later video. We're good. She runs, drives, stops, everything with the key. So I'm happy with that progress for today. With that, guys, we'll sign off, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.